Hello! My name is Second 814, and I just got back from seeing Independence Day Resurgance. Yes, the sequel to the 1996 movie Independence Day. Now, despite what critics have said, I actually did like this movie, though I did think that there were some flaws to it. Yeah, well, well, let's get into it. So basically, the plot of this movie, if you haven't read it, Google, is basically that it's been 20 years, real time, basically, since the original was made in 1996, and we're now in 2016. Anyways, it's been 20 years since the last alien attack, and basically, humans have basically he created a future technological society using recovered alien technology, and all the world's governments are united. And so, and, and of and unfortunately, they come back, and they come back in force this time with a much bigger ship. Yep, and basically there's a giant and basically they wipe out all the defenses. There's a big fight, and and all the aliens die eventually. Hey, and that's basically the plot in a nutshell. But let's get to some of the bit. All right, so for those of you who are fans of the original, you'll probably be happy to know that several of the actors do reprise their roles in this one, including Jeff Goldblum, the president, who I forget his name now. The crazy scientist dude who is still alive somehow. And those are basically the ones the main ones that reprise their roles. I think there are a few others, but I haven't. But it's been years since I've seen the original. So yeah. So basically, we've said basically in the 20 years that have since the alien attack, like I said before, what we've said, our humans have basically set up. Basically, you recover the technology. So where was I? So yeah, basically humans have taken and the technology from the alien and the crashed alien ships, and they've basically created a futuristic society. And we now have space stations basically all across the galaxy. We even have space stations on Saturn, and those space stations are never mentioned. So basically, what happens is everybody's life is peaceful. Everybody is happy, and the aliens come back and they come back with a huge mothership and just start wiping out our defense systems, like you would expect. And so basically what happens is they wipe out our defense systems, systems. They come into Earth. They cause massive destruction. They kill hundreds of people, and then eventually we find a way to defeat them. Basically, we find a way. Basically, what happens is before they come, another alien race or another alien craft shows up on the moon. We shoot it down, and the aliens come and attack, and then basically we discover that at the initial ship that came down, that we shot down was actually one of their enemies. And so, basically what we do, and so basically, yeah, I'm getting out of myself. Basically, it's we discover that it's basically a sphere, a talking sphere that basically is the last of an alien race that the other aliens already conquered, and basically it's come to help us. So basically, we try to engage it, and it fails, but a few pilots survive. And then and basically they try and lure the queen out, and eventually she gets killed by surviving Legacy Squad pilots. So yeah, that's kind of the plot in a nutshell. Oh, there's other things like how the Legacy Squad is led by the original pilot's son, Hun. But let's get but basically, yeah, I'll get into that in a minute. So basically, yeah, I think one of the biggest complaints excuse me, a lot of people are probably going to have about this movie is no Will Smith. And honestly, I don't think the movie suffers because of it, at least for me. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, despite the fact that there was no Will Smith in this movie. I think that movie, the guy who leads the Legacy Squad, who is supposedly Will Smith's character's son, I think he did a great job, but even though he wasn't in the movie very much. So yeah, I thought that was great, but there are some flaws to this movie. One thing I think that's this movie suffers from is the fact that I think the destruction scenes are, well, some can feel a little bit rushed. And I'm saying that because basically, I mean, there is plenty of destruction in this movie, but the problem is they come down, and unlike in the first one, where you get to see them shooting the beam down and a whole bunch of cities blowing up, at least Washington, D.C. blowing up, you just kind of see cities is just kind of blowing up, which I think was kind of disappointing because you don't see very much of it. I personally would have liked to see more city and all sorts of destruction happening. So, another thing I think that really hurt this, on the critics' opinion, is the fact that a lot of it is not focused on destruction and the air. Well, a lot of it I shouldn't say it, but a lot of it focuses on the aliens themselves and their technology and their culture, or rather than focusing on how to try to defeat them, or eat them. Basically, a lot of the movie is essentially you trying to figure out how to beat the aliens with the newer technology. So I thought that was probably one of the things that hurt it. Although I didn't really mind it because the people like Jeff Goldblum, I think Bill, I don't remember his last name, present from the first one, and the crazy scientist. I think they did a great job. Even though with the crazy scientist, it really you're wondering how the hell he's still alive. But anyway, so yeah. I think they did a great job. The crazy scientist, I think did a great job. He's just as crazy as he always was, back in the original. Jeff Goldblum's character, they're pretty much the same as he was. Well, I shouldn't say pretty much the same, but yeah, he's pretty much. But yeah, he's basically trying to dissuade everybody from just straight up blowing everything up, kind of trying to take a more logical approach. Oh, and his father is back in this one, and although I don't think it's the same actor, I'm not entirely sure, but I don't think it's the same actor. I'll have to look that up. So, yeah, I thought they did a great job, despite there being no Will Smith. As the movie went on, I honestly did not care the fact that Will Smith was not in this movie. So, oh yeah. Not to mention, I thought it was kind of interesting with the plot point of how they had the spear being the enemy of the aliens that we have. And basically this spear is like the last of its kind. And it basically has a planet where they form where it's forming a resistance to the aliens, and the aliens. And I thought that was kind of interesting how that they had that angle, even though basically it didn't really play much of a part in the movie except to essentially set up a sequel. So yeah. Also, the actors like Liam Hemsworth, I thought he did a great job as the pilot. I liked his character. I also liked the aliens. Now it actually showed a lot more of the aliens. Some people may not like them because a lot of aliens are just CG, but I thought the design of the aliens was pretty cool. Not to mention the design of the Queen. How she has this massive suit of armor that she gets into to go seek out her enemy. That I thought was pretty cool. Cool. So yeah, that was pretty cool. I think for me, obviously the highlight of the movie is the climax. Basically, in the climax of the movie, the Queen in her big suit of armor is going after her enemy, and basically, which is contained in Area 51, and basically but even though he gets a hold of it, basically the remaining Legacy Squad pilots, I should say, he used the stolen fighters to basically blow up, to basically shoot her down, which I have to admit was very entertaining. Now, I want to talk about what I think is probably the best character in this movie, and that is the Warlord. I never really got his name, but I think he was a great character in this movie because basically he has the motivation of wanting to avenge his brother, who was essentially killed by the aliens in the last war. So yeah. I mean, he doesn't really do much, but whenever he does kill an alien, it is amazing. So yeah, I thought the Warlord was probably the best character in this movie. Next to Joe, well, I shouldn't say next to Jeff Goldblum's character, but I thought Jeff Goldblum did a great job too. And trying to figure out how the aliens come back, or I should say basically figuring out how to defeat the aliens. So yeah. And I guess I forgot to mention this point is the fact that when we destroyed the aliens the first time, and basically they sent us into distress signal into space, and the mothership heard it, and they come back down. But anyways, getting back on track. So yeah, I think this movie was actually pretty good overall, despite what the critics say. Okay, and I need to wrap this up. So anyways, final verdict for Independence Day Resurgence is a 7 out of 10. And would I recommend it? Yes. Yes, I would recommend this movie. So that's it. Independence Day Resurgence, 7 out of 10. And go see it. And, well, that about wraps up for this video. My name is Sigmund814. Thank you so much for watching. May the wind always be at your back. And see you next time.